AITA for refusing to pay rent towards my BF's mortgage if I move in with him. My BF, 33M, and I, 29F, have been dating for 3 years. He owns a house and lives there by himself. I live in an apartment by myself. We've talked about moving in together as that's the logical next step in our relationship and we both want to do it. But I have some hang-ups related to moving into a house that I don't have any stake in. I am refusing to pay any money that would go directly towards his mortgage. I don't have any stake in the house. Why would I contribute to his mortgage payments? I'm okay helping with utilities, groceries, household items, etc. But paying his mortgage is a hard no from me. I just don't think it makes any sense for me to pay towards his mortgage when I would get nothing from that if we were to break up. His argument is that I would essentially be living with him for free and it would cause an uneven dynamic in our payment towards shared living expenses. Which I kind of get. But at the same time, he's the one benefiting from paying down the mortgage and gaining equity, not me. He also argued that his mortgage is pretty much exactly what I was paying in rent. So by cutting that in half, I am saving a lot of money on living costs compared to living on my own. Which, yeah, that's nice too. But legally it's still not my house. I told him the only way I would pay money for rent is if he signs a contract with me stating that any money I pay towards his mortgage will be paid back to me by him. In the event that we break up, it would also allow me protection from eviction and other basic tenant rights, similar to a rental agreement. He is refusing to sign anything like that because, in his words, I could break up with him for no reason and then take him to court for thousands of dollars. Which, I suppose is true, but I wouldn't just break up with him for no reason. This whole situation is driving a wedge between us and he's pissed at me for being so difficult. When all he thinks he is asking is that we split living expenses 50-50 if we are to live together. To me, it's not that simple when he's the one owning the house we would live in. If I were on the title, it would be a different story. But he's not willing to put me on the title because he's lived there for 7 years already. My lease at my apartment is up in 2 months and I know I need to make a decision sooner than later. It doesn't help that my landlord is going to be increasing my rent. And similar apartments in our area are going for even more than I'm currently paying. But I just don't feel right contributing money towards his mortgage. I also know that if I renew my lease, it's pretty much a dagger to our relationship. Which I don't want because I do love him and see a future with him. I just want to make sure I'm protected. I can tell my BF's patience on this is wearing thin and he's upset with me for digging my heels in on this. But for me, this is about protecting myself for the worst case scenario while he's not really risking anything. YTA for posting about this a second time under a new username and not accepting your first asshole judgment. https www.reddit.com/r/AmITheAsshole/comments/WCV0FS/AITA For refusing to pay rent to me boyfriend /UTM medium equals Android app and UTM source equals share. If you were moving into an apartment together, would you refuse to pay rent? I don't know if it makes you an asshole, but he's definitely right and you're definitely wrong. YTA. Ask yourself, would you ask your landlord for the money back you paid when you move out? Or ask your landlord if he put your name on his house because you paid rent for a couple of years? If no, why would you expect your boyfriend to do so? YTA and you don't make any sense. You rent right now. I just don't think it makes any sense for me to pay towards his mortgage when I would get nothing from that if we were to break up. Well, isn't that the exact situation you're already in? You're paying towards your landlord's mortgage. And you get nothing from that if you move out. So, it's okay to pay towards a landlord's mortgage but not your boyfriend's? That's kind of the definition of renting. Paying to use something you don't own. What difference does it make who you're paying rent to? I told him the only way I would pay money for rent is if he signs a contract with me stating that any money I pay towards his mortgage will be paid back to me by him in the event that we break up. So you could cheat on him. And if he dumped you, he'd owe you money? LMAO. That is ridiculous, and he should have dumped you on the spot. YTA. You clearly don't have any problem paying your landlord's mortgage and you have no stake in that. How is this any different? You live there. You can help pay for the expenses. YTA. These always crack me up. Paying rent you pay towards a stranger's mortgage plus a profit with no stake. YTA. YTA. I don't have any stake in the house. Why would I contribute to his mortgage payments? You don't have any stake in the house. Why would you get to live there for free? Or to put it another way, you have no problem paying rent to a landlord. Which landlord likely puts towards the mortgage on the place you live in. But you have a problem doing the same in this situation? YTA. You would rather pay more than anything to him. Break up with him so he can find someone smarter. YTA. Using your logic, you shouldn't be paying rent either, as the landlord has a mortgage on the property. And all you're doing is increasing their equity. Split the damn bills or dump him so he can find a financially responsible partner. YTA. You are asking him to live there free or put your name on the title when you aren't married or even engaged, or force him to pay you back whatever you paid if you break up. Hope he tells you to kick rocks. I would. YTA. Questions. He owns the house. What is his job, and does he earn more than you? Do you have a job, and is your income more or less than his? But for me, this is about protecting myself for the worst case scenario while he's not really risking anything. He's risking his 3-year relationship sour into resentment and alienation. That's what he's risking. You're delusional. YTA. YTA. In your apartment, you are essentially paying the owner's mortgage. In part, on the property. You're wanting to live there for free, and that's not how adulting works. Renew your lease and cut it off with the BF. Let him move on. YTA. Your relationship will likely not recover from this. What do you think your landlord does with your rent money? YTA. You realize that paying rent in an apartment is going towards your landlord's mortgage? Why should you live somewhere for free? Nah. While I do think you are wrong to ask for your money back, you wouldn't get it back if you loved out early in a leased home either. You do have a valid concern in wanting to protect yourself from being evicted if you guys break up. See if he's amenable to a contract stating that you will pay half of the living expenses. Not just the mortgage, total living expenses. And in the case that you break up, you have X amount of time to move out as long as you continue to pay your share. You can also take the opportunity to hash out any other issues that typical rental agreements cover, like inviting over overnight guests, pets, and/or emergency repairs. Then get it notarized. If he's still resistant, tell him it's something like a moving in prenup and helps protect both of you. So in your equation, are you taking into account that a large portion of his mortgage is interest, insurance, and property tax? While I don't think it should be half necessarily, I do think that you should pay some rent. Even if he is the one building up equity, he is having to share his space with another person. YTA. It's his house. It's appropriate that you pay rent, and that you not acquire any ownership interest in the property. If you were married, it would be different. But you aren't. Have you tried telling your landlord that you think you should be getting an ownership interest in the apartment building you are currently in? I'm not sure that the difference is significant. If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. AmITheAsshole is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.